Q&A YouTube series. Keep it simple, keep it real. Now, what I'm doing is creating some Q&A videos, not changing the other videos that we're doing. So I'm going to keep going on creating content, exploring solutions and presenting products and so forth. But we do get a lot of questions through YouTube, also through our website. And I thought it might be useful for you as an end user to see and hear some of the discussions and responses that we get. It's going to be a little bit unprepared in terms of what I'm going to do. So I have the questions ready here, but I haven't really responded yet. So I'm going to talk you through my thinking, and then I will do the response later today. So because this is the YouTube video, I'm just going to go through the actual section, because I believe if the question was already posted on a public forum, it should not be an issue to just share that screen as well as I look at the question itself. So let's get into this. I'm going to start from the bottom of the section. So there's a question from last year, which this is my reference, so I'll keep going back to this one. So somebody complained saying, man, you have so much packet loss on the test. That was back a year ago when I did a test, and I tried to break my my Nighthawk M5 at the time in an aluminium house. So of course packet loss translates to problems, and the problems is what I was trying to create. So yes, I have packet loss. That's what I was trying to do, to force a bad situation on the M5, and that's my reference. So I'm going to keep that one, not going to answer that on YouTube, but that's going to be every time I baseline. So that's how I know this is. I've done all the most recent questions. So a question that I got on my Starlink video, which was where I kind of criticized, I guess, the general use of Starlink for everything and everybody everywhere. Not criticize, I guess, just had a view that Starlink has a lot of potential, but it needs to be used at the right locations. So pretty much just the comment here was talking about this blend of technologies. I agree. That's really it. So I'm going to just respond to say, yes, we seem to be in complete agreement that we need to use technology where it makes most sense so that people can get the best benefit out of this. And if you want to introduce congestion by just jumping on the technology that is not the most optimized for your location, in the bigger scheme of things, it will cause a problem. The next one was, can I solve my own home mobile broadband troubles? I just had a smiley face, which I just had a bit of a rant because it was a morning where my internet was struggling again at home. I am going to fix that soon, and I will post that on video. So thanks for responding to my my rant. Absolutely amazing video. Thank you. Well, I'm humbled. Thank you. This was probably my most successful video ever, which was just connecting a pointing Export 2 to a Huawei B818, which was at the time really the most popular 4G modem and offered by Optus Networks back then. It's about 2-3 years ago, so that's awesome. Stay connected to 4G on the Great Barrier Reef using pointing. So that was a bit of an experimental test. So I went diving with my son. This is last year, so 2022, and we were 60 kilometers out, and I was diving there. So where can I get this device? So this device would be either the Nighthawk which I used back then, the Nighthawk M5, now it would be the M6. Answer would that be simply go to your local network operator. Of course, I also tested the RET360, so I would have to clarify what device we're talking about, or are we talking about the antenna? I think antennas, rfshop.com.au might work, or depending if you're in a different country. Same for the Teltonika routers. Visit us or look at your local provider for that. So that's really all that. Now, converting a satellite dish to a Wi-Fi antenna, that seems to be quite a popular topic. It's a fun topic. It's a fun experiment. How realistic it is, not sure, but there's definitely a big community looking for ways to find, as this customer here, ditch broadband and connect to free Wi-Fi nearby. Fair enough. If you have a source nearby that you could use, that's up to you to do. I focus a lot on actually just fixing your own problems. So if we see in our home use that people wanted a shed to connect it or a remote building connected, how can you get Wi-Fi that your house have connected to the shed on a remote place? So that's more the scenario we are working on. But the directional antenna is really just using a dish, and that's the fun that I had there. practical. It's quite a DIY project. It works well and it proves the science. So that's what I had a lot of fun with. Now, 2 comments on a video actually about reliable internet connection to your caravan. So it's a fairly recent one. Really talking about the MIMO 3, in this case the 12, the MIMO 312, which is a 2x2 4G, 5G antenna that you can mount permanently on your caravan roof. And in this case, we have a kit connected to the RUT360 from Teltonika. So we got some good feedback here. First of all, I'm writing this just for when you're using a SIM card, so I won't pick up and boost the local Wi-Fi. That is correct. Now, I think there are ways to reconfigure your Teltonika router, but in terms of our slogan of keeping it simple, it is correct. This is a SIM card solution. So it's basically creating a dedicated hotspot using a SIM card connection, SIM card driven connection to the network operator. The other comment on that, I love my MIMO, awesome, to Netgear Nighthawk M5. So in that case, use the same antenna. We have the Nighthawk kit on our website that you can connect to the Nighthawks. Many as well traveling and having internet. Our phone says SOS only. Thanks, Barry. Thank you, Barry. So that's just awesome. It's good feedback to know. That's why we sell the antenna, because we know it actually works really well for so many use cases. And that's just awesome feedback. Thank you. Now, Bulldog 347. What do we say here? So how to manage cable losses on 4G or 5G? Too much hassle. Of course, it is too much hassle for many people, and I completely agree that it is not. When we discuss a science, it is not that that's the best way for everybody. Of course, there's scenarios where you say, well, there's different ways I can use this, and I agree. You can use it differently, and if you ever have a way to get your modem to your antenna and you have this much cable, perfect. But that's not the case for many people, and in those cases where people do need a coaxial cable, this is what you could do. So that's what I discussed on this video back in the day. Was really to cut the cable as short as possible. And I'm very happy for Bulldog 347 that he gets those speeds that he reports. Awesome. Well, though, upload not bad, 10 to 13 meg. You know, I got 91 on my X50 when I did my test, so there we go. Let's go into competition. Now, the last one is a video that we posted when I'm recording this. This was earlier this week, but it was actually a video I recorded when I was in San Francisco. It's almost, man, goodness, 9 months ago. So it's a while ago. I was contemplating, and I want to do more about MIMO on water, because it's actually quite an interesting piece of physics that happens there, and there's so much to talk about, more to share. So let me just read this out slowly, and then I'll explain to you what I say. So I'm guessing, because I'm in holiday mode and it's not my speciality, that the wildly different radiation patterns of the Omni as compared to the directional antenna is why the cross polarization is a bad idea. I have to think about this, but no, it's not quite the same. So the thing is, with an Omni antenna, I think the first thing, and there's probably more to come with this specific question, so thanks, Michael, for that. An Omni antenna is a disc. It's a donut, so it goes in all directions. So you can see it as a saucer. When you turn it at 45 degree, me looking at the camera will still have a good connection. So that's good. So I have a connection. If I turn my antenna to 45, and I have one here, so let me just jump over. This is hot off the press, so I didn't prepare this. There's an Omni antenna, right? It faces all directions as I has it now. But if I move this to 45 degree, me to the camera, me to you, it's still 45 degrees, so we're good. I can have an antenna like this, and I could also orient it like this. So I have two antennas, 45 plus and minus, all good. But what happens in this direction? So if I had something that faces this way, now suddenly my antenna is actually radiating into the ground. So that doesn't work anymore. And the same for this side, where it used to be okay. I'm pointing this way, now I'm actually sending to the sky. So in the Omni, it goes all around, which that's the problem that you have there. And I've tried to explain this a few times, and this is the problem. Now on a boat, this thing is going to keep moving. So you have my other little prop here actually. There's my boat, but as you are anchored, you don't have 100% control of how it's anchored relative to a base station. This thing could be at any way, and you may not want to drift, that's fine, but today I'm parked like this, or parked, or whatever. I don't know what the word is. Tomorrow I'm like this. The antenna, now it works. Tomorrow because this is how it's mounted on the antenna. It looks like this and I have a problem. Then the next day I have it like this and I have another problem. So it's inconsistent. With a directional antenna, this is a horn antenna, so it's not a great example, but I'm facing that direction. It's not that it's a different antenna, it's just I am only expecting it to work in this direction forward. So now I can do this because I'd never expected the antenna to work in other directions. I expect this thing to work in all directions, but I can't do that expectation when I start to turn this thing around. That's the problem. So I'm expecting this antenna to work in all directions, but if I do this, it's no longer working in all directions. Directional antenna, I'm expecting it to work in one direction only, and in that direction I can now apply the logic and it works better. Now the theory on slant 45 over water, that is a whole topic of a video that I've been procrastinating on for 5 months now already, and I probably want to do more on that because I have it ready, I just don't know how to say it yet. So I'll make some effort to do that video in the next, I don't know, there's so many priorities on topics, but that's really it. So the 45-degree issue on water is an opportunity. It's a challenge, but it's a massive opportunity, and I want to talk more about that. That's it. That was the last video. I see my screenshot already stopped recording, so be it. So I'm going to do more of it. I'll just post these responses on YouTube now, so you will see them somewhere in the public forum as well. And when I get more comments, I will do another video on this, also on the other videos for questions that we get through our website and the inquiries email on our website as well. I hope this works. Let me know how this goes if it's of any interest to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next general video that I might shoot on just a topic on the RTX 50, because we have one again and I need to solve my own internet, as I mentioned in my video earlier as well. Cheers, bye-bye.